Imagine for a moment that the Marchioness of Bath lives her life the way she does. Picture Meghan Markle as the daughter-in-law of King Charles. Just think of what could have been if she had, actually behaved herself. Instead, poor Harry's kids are stuck in what seems like a glorified bird poop mansion or some dusty old ranch. The Marchioness of Bath decided to share a delightful Christmas video from her home Longleat. It was so wholesome, warm, and family-centred, it could make even the most hardened royal watcher smile. Emma, who's a billionaire's daughter, didn't need to grift anyone for attention. In fact, she didn't need anyone to make her famous because she's already a successful businesswoman, a sometime Dolce & Gabbana model, and a fashion editor at British Vogue. How's that for some real-world success? Meanwhile, Meghan... Well, we all know her strategy is be rich, be famous, and wear ridiculously overpriced outfits. Emma, of course, is also stunningly beautiful, not just on the outside, but from the inside too. In fact, she's got this thing called class. Something that might be a bit foreign to Meghan, whose idea of elegance seems to involve eye rolls and avoiding anyone she thinks is more successful than her. In fact, we've always suspected Meghan's not-so-hidden jealousy towards women like Emma. It's almost as if Meghan can't handle anyone who she thinks is prettier, richer, or more successful than her. It's no wonder she has so few female friends. And speaking of people Meghan doesn't seem to get along with, why didn't she invite the Marchioness to the wedding? Perhaps it's because Emma is gasp a woman of colour who's been part of the British aristocracy for ages. Real aristocrats, not Hollywood royalty. Emma may be a billionaire's daughter, but Meghan would rather latch onto anyone who can propel her into the Hollywood stratosphere. Let's face it, Meghan could no more fit into the British aristocracy than she could fly to the moon. That's because Southern California, with its glitz and glamour, is the only place where Meghan thinks she belongs. Instead of embracing her royal duties and learning how to be a real duchess, Meghan thought she could just waltz in, marry her meal ticket prince, have a baby, and call it a day. After all, she had Hollywood A-listers to call her friends, right? Well, spoiler alert, the world didn't exactly flock to her. Who's getting the last laugh now? But back to the Marchioness and her family. Their home, Longleat, is a proper royal gem. It's not just a historical mansion, but also a wildlife sanctuary with tigers and monkeys that roam freely. And get this, Emma's wedding dress is on display in a glass case. But it's not some kind of obnoxious narcissistic stunt. It's tucked away in a quiet spot, almost as if to say, hey, if you want to see it, here it is. But I'm not shoving it in your face. A stark contrast to Meghan, who would probably turn her wedding dress into a national monument if she could. The Marchioness of Bath's family is also refreshingly down to earth. When the public isn't around, the kids are allowed to run wild, roller skating down the hallways of Longleat like they're in their own private skate park. It's a real family vibe, unlike the staged, attention-grabbing family moments we often see from Meghan and Harry. And let's not forget Emma's legendary father, a true free spirit who had all sorts of wild adventures in his younger years. Rather than hide those scandalous stories, Emma's family embraces them. Imagine Meghan doing the same. Or, not. What's even more impressive is how Emma handles adversity. She's faced actual racism from her mother-in-law's side of the family, but instead of whining about it to Oprah, Emma rose above it and continues to thrive as a wonderful wife and mother. Meanwhile, Meghan, who claimed to face racism everywhere she turned, could barely muster up the energy to be polite, let alone kind. In case you missed it, the Marchioness of Bath is living proof of how to do royal life right. It's all about grace, humility, and actually enjoying the family you've got. Something Meghan could never quite grasp